What are you drinking?
Well, I'm a Diet Coke.
Oh, nice. We love a good Diet Coke.
I also have my backup polar water. So,
Nice.
uh,
I have Health Aid kombucha in this pink lady apple flavor.
is that what you spilled all over your desk last week?
It is, yes. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. I'm Blair.
And I'm Kirsten, and we are
Mediocre
content. Nailed that one.
We did so good.
We did.
All right. So before we get into our normal routine here, I would like to. We have a listener submitted question, aka and honestly, this is. I mean, my husband is a listener, but he didn't submit the question. He just asked me in the kitchen if I could include this. So here we are.
What you got?
Okay, so I think not last week, but the week before, maybe. So at one point we referenced Salem, my cat, my black cat, as the Void.
Of course.
And and that is his official superhero name. And Jinx's official superhero name is Hijinks.
Cute.
And so he wants to know what Puma, Cougar, and Lynx's superhero cat names are. Your cat. What are their superhero names?
Okay, so not really superhero names, but something that we call them. Cougar, we call Hissa because when she's in situations that make her mad, she just hisses.
Seems reasonable.
So reasonable.
I like it.
Puma is pukey for obvious reasons because all she does is throw up everywhere.
Like vom.
Full
that
vom.
Could be her superpower.
Oh, it's a superpower, all right. And then Lynx, we call him Poopy Gauchos for other obvious reasons.
For those of you who are unaware of the anatomical position of gauchos, they are not the pants that you loved in the early 2000s. They are actually the cat hair on the back of the cat's hind legs.
He is a very fluffy boy as a ragdoll, and over the last, he hasn't done it recently, but last month and the month before, he had a lot of hairballs because it's wintertime and he's shedding his second coat. And unfortunately, he had a bit of cat spicy diarrhea that we had to clean in the tub because poopy gauchos. So there you go.
Poopy gauchos, man.
Mine are all disgusting and mean, and y'all's are adorable.
We'll let you guys know when the comic book comes out.
What a beautiful thing.
It'll be like the Void and Hijinks, and then it'll just be his sidekicks, all bodily fluids.
Bodily fluids. And an anger management issue. Oh, man. That's great. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, thank you, listener. Yeah. All right. The other thing I wanted to chat about really quick is that so I live in California, and I believe based on the feedback I got from my East Coast family, everyone is very concerned about the flooding that was taking place last week.
Yes.
In California. Sorry guys, I have I'm getting over a cold. So
Gross.
Just bear with me. I know I'm disgusting. Anyway, so I would just like to point out the fact that, in our area, we didn't get a whole lot of flooding. Everything was fine. Yeah. A little bit north of us, they definitely got some flooding. As far as I know, they're recovering decently.
That's good.
So yeah, everything is okay.
Do you know how bad it actually was then?
So there was there was some flooding, but it was everyone was oh, it's going to be the storm like a Category 3 hurricane. And I'm like, great. So I moved to the West Coast and I still get a hurricane. They can't call it a hurricane because it's in the Pacific Ocean. True. Fun fact. So they called it a cyclone instead, which is so much more, non-threatening.
Yeah.
So anyway, so there was some flooding. I believe most of it has deceased, but the problem is the water doesn't soak into the soil the same way it does on the East Coast.
Okay.
So the other thing too is that it doesn't rain here.
Right.
The fact that we had so much rain was unprecedented. So everyone, it's like when it snows on if you're from like the middle East Coast, like Virginia, North Carolina,
Mhm.
South Carolina area, if it snows there, you know that everything shuts down
Yeah,
and all the milk
it's
and bread
true.
go missing and everything is crazy.
Facts.
So, it was like that kind of,
Yeah. Okay.
where everyone was freaking out, but I think for the most part, most people made it through and everything was fine,
That's
right?
good. Yeah.
And
Okay.
in my area, we didn't get a ton of rain.
Mm.
It was like sunny, and then the news was reporting everything is underwater, the world is dying, la la la.
You're
So
like,
I
what?
think, and I some places did get like a significant amount,
Yeah.
and I'm not trying to like minimize that, but I think they over exaggerated, which is, I mean, pretty normal
Well,
for.
it's kind of good news though.
Yeah,
Better for it to not have been that bad.
definitely, definitely. So bottom line, everything is fine. We're still over
Excellent.
here. California did not fall off the map. Okay,
That's
everything
good.
is good.
Everything's still attached.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
yeah,
Yeah. It was pretty dreary on this side as well last week. We had like the whole week was rain up until yesterday, the day before.
yeah.
So
Today's a really nice day outside. It's like 60 degrees and beautiful. So
lucky. We do
nice.
not have that kind of weather, but it is nice. It was a nicer day.
That's good.
Yeah.
So, moving into the disclaimer, before we get started, we are not experts on anything. We're going to be talking about essential oils, aromatherapy today. We are not recommending this as medicine. We're not recommending this, um, really before you talk to your doctor. So,
Absolutely.
definitely talk to your doctor. Obviously, aromatherapy is not like super dangerous because, like, if it was, they wouldn't sell it to us.
Ooh, smells.
Conspiracy theory though. Like, think about it. No,
Sure.
but honestly, like, if you buy any essential oils, just make sure if you have sensitive skin or if you have asthma or something like that, like, check with your doctor first. Okay.
I also
Okay.
heard that essential oils can affect the like your walls in your house. So you just gotta be careful, especially if you're a
Oh,
renter.
definitely.
Just be mindful.
Yeah, I didn't that's the first I'm hearing of that, and
Yeah.
but yeah, I we'll talk about some of the things that I've
Hmm.
learned through my research
This
here.
would be perfect. Yeah. Into the good news for us then. I'm super pumped about the first piece of good news because as an avid TikTok watcher, I actually saw this on TikTok first. So, people may know Mark Cuban from Shark Tank, not sponsored, but I used to watch that show and it used to irritate me. But anyway, he's one of the billionaires or millionaires or however much money he has that used to be on the show offering deals to people. And nowadays, he has started a new company
Oh, this
called
is his pharmacy.
yes. So it's Cost
Ooh.
Plus Drug Company. And I watched his interview again. I forget who it was with. I think it was maybe Trevor Noah that was on that he had the interview with.
Uh-huh.
And they were discussing this. And basically, his whole thing for this company is to fight back against big pharmacy because, as I'm sure many people with medications know, it is so expensive just to stay alive with things that are necessities these days
Yep.
for
I've
a lot
heard of
of
this. I've heard of
yeah,
this.
yeah. And so basically what he's done is created this company that it says prescription pricing would be 15% for the cost, which is just the cost of the drug itself, plus the 3% pharmacy fee and a $5 shipping fee. And it's 15% of like increase from what they pay for the cost. So you know exactly how much they pay. It's 15% of that. And so basically, at this moment, the site currently offers 1,100 medications. And mostly they're generics at the moment, but they are working to incorporate things like insulin and higher priced drugs that people need access to or need more access to. And basically, whoever he was speaking with, I guess maybe a friend that he has is what he was referring to, but basically this guy for his medication pays like $3,000 or something like that for his
Hmm.
medication, and that's per month. So that's super expensive. um, and for 3 months of that medication through his program and through his company, it was $63 for 3 months.
Bravo.
I
We love
mean,
that.
absolutely. So it's just bringing a new wave into the prescription and pharmacy industry, which I feel like we desperately need to disrupt. And so
Oh,
it's really
100.
great to see people who have the means to do that begin to start and fight back against this kind of craziness that is this industry.
Absolutely. Also, side note,
Mm-hmm.
related but not exactly the same.
Okay.
Um, Pro tip: if you get a medication that you need consistently, if you order it through your like through the mail instead of
Oh
just
yeah,
picking
yeah,
it up
yeah.
at the pharmacy, it is more than likely going to be cheaper. So
And
just keep that
yeah,
in mind.
I can attest to that. I mean, a little bit. I use the TRICARE Express Scripts
Yeah.
online, and that's
Nice.
super convenient because they'll, in some cases, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it depends on the type of medication, but like, I know for me, they usually send me like a 90-day supply through the mail as well
Yeah,
instead of
and
monthly.
they'll send you more and you don't
Yeah,
have to pay as much.
precisely, exactly. So all good things, and it's just expensive. It
Yeah.
just sucks.
Life is expensive, you know?
Absolutely. Um, And then our second piece of good news is just funsies because so I have a big thing for shared birthdays myself because my little nephew and I share a birthday. And so I was like, well, this would be
So
fun.
cute.
And this shared birthday is a day after our shared birthday. So
Oh,
there's the Scott family who lives in Huntsville, Alabama, and the husband and wife duo both have a birthday on December 18th, which is so cute. And then they ended up having a baby who also arrived on their birthday,
that's
which
weird.
is so
I'm
weird,
sorry.
but
It's
so cute.
weird.
It was
So
so
what are they?
adorable.
So their kids are gonna grow up and they're gonna be like, okay, it's time for family birthday.
Family birthday. You know what? I would make it a month event at that point.
Oh,
If we
okay,
all had the same birthday, I'd be like, you know what? Let's just take
it's
this whole month. It's a family month.
birthday month. Birthday
Birthday
month
month.
and
Yeah.
Christmas though
Oh
too,
yeah,
which is
and
wild.
Christmas. Merry Birthmas. I used to hate that. Anyway, we'll skip that. Um, and it was just in time also. So she came in right at 12:30 a.m. on December 18th.
Cute,
Adorable.
cute.
And since you said it was kind of weird, I also included some stats on these types of phenomenon, right?
Okay.
So um it is rare, obviously, because you've got to hit the dice right. First of all, you have to be in the relationship with a shared birthday anyway.
Well, and you think about it, like, did they plan it this way?
I mean, it would be
It's
super
possible.
interesting if they tried.
It's possible.
It is
Anyway,
possible. But in 2017, another couple also shared a birthday and then welcomed a baby on the same day. And it also happened to be December 18th.
I don't. I don't like this game.
I'm sorry. This was in Mississippi. And so, I mean, Mississippi and Alabama aren't that far away from each other. So maybe,
What is happening
I don't
down
know,
there?
something in the
We don't
South.
know.
Um, so it says here that the family's birthday, December 18th, is actually a pretty common birthday, ranking number 56 out of all days, according to, the journalist who was doing all the statistics on this article.
Uh huh.
Um, but then they also say that out of the calendar days, including leap day, which is February 29th, the two
Mm-hmm.
least common birthdays are January 1st, which is number 365, if you don't know how many days are in a year,
Reasonable.
and December 25th, which is number 366, which had me, I guess, because of the leap year. So
Yeah.
you've got like
So
one
you have the
extra day. Yeah.
366 days. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then they also said so leap day, which only occurs every 4 years, obviously would be uncommon at that point, but it ranks 347, so it's not as uncommon.
So it's more common
Yes,
than January 1st
which always exists. Yes,
and Christmas.
absolutely.
All right, then.
Yeah, I don't know. And then other uncommon birthdays are Christmas Eve, July 4th, and the most common birthday is said to be September 9th. And overall, September as a month is the
Yeah.
most common,
And
which makes sense.
that's because it's 9 months from like New Year's and
Yes.
Christmas and all that. Yeah.
And what else are you supposed to do when it's cold and there's nothing you can do outside, you know?
Well, and yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Exactly.
absolutely. So, But yeah, that's my good news. Enjoy that. Rack your brain over that.
Great. Love that. Thank you,
Numbers.
Kirsten,
You're
for
welcome.
enlightening everyone on this. I still think that's super weird that
You know
they're
what
all
though?
like,
Like I would be okay, so I would be interested to know, listener, let us know one if you have a birthday in September, but also two if you have one of the uncommon birthdays. Like, because I would love to
yeah,
know if how aggressive this statistic is, you know?
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Philip has a birthday in September. Actually, so
Oh,
out of all of, I have 13 cousins, 13, 14,
wow.
something like that. I have a
Okay.
lot of cousins,
Me too.
and like my grandma would always like send out birthday cards to everybody, all of her grandkids, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so, and we had, as a whole family, including uncles, aunts, everybody, September was the most common birthday month. There was like six, maybe something like
Huh.
that, birthdays in September. So statistically, of our family population, that would be correct.
I don't think anybody in our family that is like directly related has a September birthday. Most of ours are either in the fall, winter time frame or in the spring. I think, yeah, Kellen and my dad are the only ones. Maybe Patty too. There's like some outliers, but for the most part, it's like fall, winter period.
I mean, September's in the fall.
Yeah, but
Oh,
none
you
of
mean
them are
October?
September. Yeah, I mean like October, November, December
Right.
time
Yeah.
frames. Yeah, yeah, yeah. October is a heavy month for us, as you're aware.
I mean, that's
For me.
that's close. That's almost September.
Almost.
It's still within the prime time frame.
They undershot that one. They're like nine
Yeah.
months, and then it's like, just kidding.
They said we're gonna wait until after New Year's, and because that's what everybody does, and we're just gonna do it on President's Day instead or something. I don't know.
Younger listener, go ask your parents about that one.
Yeah, yeah, right.
The planning period.
All right.
Anyway, essential oils.
So we're talking about essential oils and aromatherapy, but in order to understand aromatherapy, we have to understand essential oils.
Mhm.
They are derived from plants. Um, some would say that they are the plant's essence, which is what give the plants their smell. And oils are extracted from a plant and infused into products, or you can buy them in their regular, just organic oil form. Hence the term essential oils.
I love that.
Got it. All right. It's important to note that not everything that says it's made with plant essence is made with essential oils because you can manufacture those smells.
Right, right, right,
So
right.
just when purchasing essential oils, I would just take a look at your manufacturer and like where you're getting them from.
That's a good point.
Um, Aromatherapy or essential oil therapy is using essential oils to promote physical and mental health.
Hmm.
So our sense of smell is very powerful, and the general idea, especially nowadays with essential oil, is we smell whatever smell, and it activates our brain, that the part that controls our emotions, the hypothalamus, and it helps our brain release chemicals like serotonin or other ones that
Mm-hmm.
give a direct, um, and it makes you happy.
That makes sense. I don't they have like those I don't know if it's this, it might be in this category, but they always tell you like the pillow sprays and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like
So
right
like
before you go to bed.
lavender for
Right.
sleeping, right? So you
Right, right, right.
put it on your pillow, and I'm part of me. I mean, this is the skeptic in me. Part of me feels like, well, if it's part of your nighttime routine, and
Mm-hmm.
if you use it enough, every time you smell it, your brain is like, okay, it's time to go to sleep. It's not the actual oil like doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like you're
Placebo
training, you're
almost.
Pavlovian training yourself to like go
Yeah.
to bed when you smell it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah.
not to minimize this at all, but just that's my skeptic opinion.
I know, but it's still, but arguably, it could still be considered working because, you're using it religiously and you have trained yourself with that smell. So
That's true.
maybe
That's true.
it could still apply. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's true. Um so you can diffuse essential oils. You can also have them in a spray, in a soap, in a body wash, whatever.
Mm.
And you can also just put them directly on your skin.
Huh.
There was a girl in my nursing school class who peppermint is supposed to like make your brain more awake. So before a
Mm.
test, she would like pass around her little roll ball of like peppermint essential
That's
oil.
cute.
Yeah. Um, so this is a not so fun fact for those of us who own cats. As you know, we both own cats,
Indeed.
and I did not realize this until very
Oh.
recently. So this is my story. So if you have cats, you can't have essential oils because they also have a very sensitive nose, and it will bother them slash possibly make them sick. So I bought a diffuser and essential oils because I saw a TikTok. Right, this is always how it happens.
Always.
I saw a TikTok and they were like, okay, well, burning candles is basically the same. Like
Mm,
you're emitting like smoke and soot and stuff in your home.
sure.
And I was like, I've never thought about that, but that's probably, that's
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I want my lung health to be good because my lungs are important, right?
Indeed.
And so I was like, okay, well, essential oils seem like, the next best thing. I want my house to smell good. It's
Hmm.
just water vapor. It's fine. It'll be great. Um, So I bought an essential oil diffuser and essential oils off of Amazon, as one does.
As you do.
And I get them, and I'm telling my husband Chris about all these things, and I'm like, this is so great. Our house is gonna smell so good, and we're not gonna like potentially burn the house down by leaving a candle on or something.
Hmm.
And he's like, so I think I read somewhere that cats, if you have cats, you can't do it. You can't have essential oils. And I was like, no, that's not true. There's no way that that's true.
Oh my gosh.
Nobody on TikTok told me that that was true.
So then it's automatically not
So
true.
immediately I go to Google and I find that it is absolutely
It is
true.
absolutely true.
It is
Yeah.
absolutely true. And it really bumped me out and I had to return everything.
Oh
And
no.
But then, like, I'm still concerned about the whole candle situation and inhaling, like, fumes and, like, candles are artificial. Like, if you don't get the organic wax ones and there's, like,
Mm,
if you don't properly air out your room like you don't in the winter time because it's cold
right.
outside, like, you know, what
Yeah.
do I do? How do I make my house smell good? I don't like the air fresheners. I think they're stupid and gross.
Yeah. Honestly, actually, the we had like those Glade plugins when we lived in Florida,
Yeah.
and apparently those can be kind of harmful too. One, because they're at like eye level for most cats, because that's where your plugs are.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Um, but uh, I I don't necessarily do this because I don't really care. I'll just open a window in the middle of winter.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people are like, well, then just bake, just cook, so you have all your like cooking
Yeah.
smells in your house. And I'm like, yeah, but that requires work,
That's so much work.
which
Who
is
has
so
time
lazy.
to bake like a bunch of cookies just so your house smells nice?
I mean, it would be nice. Maybe I should just hire somebody to do that. Can you
I,
just bake in my house?
honestly.
But yeah, it is bad for them. I don't know
But
about candles though.
I was thinking like simmer pots. That might be a thing.
That is a very new thing. But I mean,
Yeah.
okay, so another potential wrench in here. Technically, you're still putting,
I know.
like you're
I
not
know.
like, I feel like it's different when you've got something that can like, so like essential oils, going back to the topic where I read like if you're a renter, you need to be mindful of like what kind of oils you use for that
Yeah.
because it can get on the walls and like coat things and you can't, like you just don't know. Well, imagine your cat is walking around and now they have that on their skin and they're licking themselves and ingesting it, like
Yeah.
animals in general, not even just cats. So I could understand that being harmful, but if you think about it like a candle, it's not like something physical going on them, it's just a scent. So
Right.
my thought is candles are probably I mean, we've burnt candles, we have
From
cats,
a cat perspective, I would say yes. From a
absolutely
human lung perspective,
true.
the jury's still out. We're
I
not
would
sure.
agree. It's
Yeah.
probably safer for a human standpoint. There's tons of studies about fragrance and their effect on, the human uh sinuses and things like that. But simmer pots are probably good. Again, just work. And you always have to have like herbs and stuff on hand
Yeah, I
to
don't
put in
know.
a pot to
I don't
simmer.
know. Yeah,
Like,
and
I
then you
don't
have to
know.
dehydrate
Yeah,
like fruits and stuff.
I don't
I don't
know.
know. So anyway,
I'll
if
just
you
open
come
a
over to my
window.
house and it smells disgusting, this is why.
This is why she doesn't want to do the simmer pots, but also takes care of her cats.
Yeah, my cats are healthy. My house smells like crap. I don't know what to tell you.
Dang.
Um, so moving right along, some of the
Mm.
potential uses for
Mhm.
aromatherapy are to help manage pain, improve sleep quality, which you've already kind of talked about,
Mm.
reduce stress, agitation, and anxiety. That's a big one. I think a lot of people use
Yeah.
aromatherapy for that. To soothe sore joints,
Hmm.
treat headaches and migraines, alleviate side effects of chemotherapy, um, ease discomforts of labor, fight bacteria, fungus, viruses, improve digestion, improve hospice and palliative care, and to boost immunity.
Hmm.
Some
Okay.
big claims,
Those
big
are some
claims.
big claims.
Um, I I feel like so side effects of chemotherapy
Mm.
is nausea, vomiting most of the time,
Right,
and I
right. That
think a
makes
lot of
sense.
like peppermint is a really
Mm-hmm.
good one to help eliminate nauseous feeling. If you're a nurse and
Yes.
your patient is nauseous,
That's me.
put an ice pack on the
Yeah.
back of their neck
Mm-hmm.
and have them smell an alcohol wipe.
Yeah.
And I know that that's not technically an essential oil, but it might help.
It's all scent related. It's all sensory. I
Yeah,
think that's why a lot of these work for those purposes.
definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So in addition to that, um, uh, the conditions that aromatherapy can be used to treat, and I just put a little asterisk here, like so used as complementary medicine,
Right.
not down. Like if any of this has worked for you as your primary form of care, then continue doing what you're doing, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I would just like to say, the FDA has not fully backed this. And scientifically, it's only been proven as a complementary use to primary medicine, um, as opposed to a
Mm-hmm.
foolproof treatment. Okay, so
Right.
just everybody keep that in mind. So
Right.
some of the conditions that aromatherapy can help with are asthma, insomnia, fatigue, depression, inflammation, peripheral neuropathy, menstrual issues, alopecia, cancer, erectile dysfunction, arthritis, and menopause.
Some of these surprise me. However, if we were talking about it, like you mentioned, complementary, and that just means with other drugs for the
Yeah.
listener,
Yeah.
I could kind of see how that works. Asthma surprises me though, because
I
that's,
know.
like that's surprising to me.
So the only thing I can think of is like you know how Vicks Vapor Rub has like menthol and like
Mm,
spearmint in
that's
it?
true. Yeah.
And sometimes that helps when you have a cold, like open up
Mm,
your nasal passages and stuff. That would be the only
true.
thing. Um, but like
Okay.
a lot of breathing treatments have like like basically a diffuser in like a
Mm-hmm.
mask and
Mm-hmm.
you are
You
breathing
inhale
in the
it.
drug, you know,
Okay.
but I don't
Makes
know.
sense. Okay. I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't ask questions, I just read the article. You know what I mean?
You're like, this is fine.
It's fine. Um so I did find a scientific study from the Yale Journal of Biology and Medicine,
Okay.
and they basically did a study on essential oils, and they found that as a treatment for reducing anxiety, depression, and falling asleep, they have like essential oils have many effects and can be used for that.
Mm-hmm.
Additionally, they also found that they have antimicrobial, antiviral, antioxidant, and anti-inflammatory properties, and can be used as an alternative to synthetic insect repellent. Isn't that fun? They didn't
That
give
is
the
interesting.
recipe in the article, but I'm sure you
Disappointing.
could find something online.
Yeah.
And so there are many proven health benefits to essential oils, but there are also adverse effects.
Of
They did
course.
find that certain essential oils and their components contain endocrine disrupting chemicals.
Hmm.
And for the common person who doesn't know what that means, it's basically it just messes up your hormones.
Mm-hmm.
And that that the population that's most affected by that is the pre-pubescent children.
Oh
Um,
yeah. Yeah.
so just and that's all they could find in their particular study, and with the essential oils that they used.
Mm-hmm.
So they also put a little disclaimer at the bottom that basically was like, you know, you can use essential oils. There's a lot of really good benefits, but science has not fully
Yeah.
figured out everything that could be an adverse effect. So just use with caution, you know, everything
Yeah.
in moderation, like that kind of thing.
I mean, if you think about it, it's since these are derived mostly from plants. I mean, we use a lot of plant-based medicines anyway that are also antimicrobial or antiviral or antioxidant. Like that's what a lot of them consist of anyway. It's just a
Yeah.
different method in which you're getting it into your system.
Yeah.
Maybe that different method of getting into your system is better for certain diseases. Like for your example, asthma, you have to inhale the medication for it to open you up and like make you start feeling better. But I could also understand it mostly affecting children when it comes to their endocrine system because they're still growing and they're still developing and their body hasn't necessarily figured everything out yet. So
Right.
that makes
Right.
perfect sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So, just, you know, take everything with a grain
Mm-hmm.
of salt, basically, is the big takeaway from this. I
Yeah.
personally really like to smell peppermint and lavender and,
Hmm.
you know, I like to smell nice smells, and I think everybody really does, you know.
Now you got me thinking about like perfumes and stuff about my cats.
Oh, no.
I'm gonna go down that rabbit hole once we're done with this podcast.
And then we could do a whole one on like the best natural deodorant because
Oh
that
my
is a
gosh.
whole thing.
I have lots to say about that as
I
someone
know.
with highly sensitive skin. So I
Yeah,
would
and
love to
then
go into that.
I like one of my maternal grandmother
Mm.
passed away from breast cancer, and so
Ooh,
like my mom has always been on me about like don't use deodorant with aluminum in
yeah,
it, and you know all kinds of other things,
of
you know, that they
course.
because they come out with every like a new thing every month for like what you
They
shouldn't
do.
do if you don't want breast cancer and all that. But like
Yeah.
it's there's a lot to say about all
Yeah.
that. But anyway,
Medicine's crazy.
I know. It's wild. It is wild. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in the second half, too. I have some interesting tidbits about the history of aromatherapy, too. So
Okay, awesome.
we'll go ahead and take a break, and you guys listen to another ad, and then we'll jump back in a few minutes.
Awesome.
Congratulations, you've made it to the ad segment of the podcast.
Don't worry, the podcast is now, thankfully, halfway over, and we think you'll have what it takes to push through to the end. You got this.
We completely understand if you have to bow out for now, but if you do, make sure to come back at some point to try and finish what you started. Or not. That's also fine.
If you got what it takes to continue,
We know you do.
keep listening so you can get this over with. And be sure to tune in to future
Mediocre content.
And we're back.
We are.
According to the National Association for Holistic Aromatherapy, that's a huge mouthful. Holy crap.
Just dive right in.
The most popular essential oils are sage, cypress, eucalyptus, fennel, geranium, ginger. I don't know how to pronounce this
I was
one.
about to say good luck with that one.
Any thoughts?
um,
Helichrysum,
Helichrysum? That's what I was going to say.
Helichrysum.
Yeah, I think you had it.
Lavender, lemon, lemongrass, mandarin, neroli, patchouli,
Ugh, I hate patchouli.
peppermint, Roman chamomile,
Specifically.
rosemary, tea tree,
Vetiver?
vetiver, and
Okay.
ylang ylang.
I want to know what that is. I'm going to look it up right this
Look
second.
it up. Look it
I
up.
want to
Look
know
it
what
up.
it looks like. And I'm
I've
sure.
heard of it before. I just don't know ylang
Oh,
ylang.
but what's it? Okay. Uh, and that is extreme. Oh, okay. So obviously it's a plant, specifically,
Correct.
if anybody is curious. It smells, these are the notes. Ready for this? Exotic, deep, and floral. Extract with top notes of jasmine, neroli, which I also don't know what that is, and a fruity facet reminiscent of banana, paired with creamy custard and tangy rubber. I don't get the last part.
I don't get it either.
Anyway,
I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't know
Anyway,
either. Gross. Anyway.
um, luckily this is not like a live show
Smell-o-vision?
because we don't have to smell it, so it's fine. All right.
Ugh, thank God.
So those are your most popular.
Okay.
Um,
That's a long list.
yeah, I think so.
You know,
I like patchouli because it's like a fun
ugh.
word to say. It's like you say it in a British accent, you're like patchouli.
I really don't like the smell of patchouli. You know what I find is strange that isn't on this list is sage.
Sage is the first one.
Oh, I'm stupid. My brain, for some reason, thought your list was in alphabetical order, and I was like, that's so
No,
weird that it's not over
no.
there by rose and tea tree.
Sage is literally the first one listed.
Never mind.
You're fine. You're doing great.
I am. Ugh.
So now we're going to dive into a little bit of history. Um, so, how long has aromatherapy been around? Aromatherapy, humans have used aromatherapy for thousands of years. Ancient cultures such as the Chinese, India, Egypt, a lot of ancient cultures um, have incorporated aromatic plant components in resins, balms, and oils. So this has been going on for a really long time.
Yeah.
These natural substances were used for medical and religious purposes, and they were known to have both physical and psychological benefits.
Also, I don't know if you're going to talk about this, so forgive me if
Go
I'm
ahead.
die bombing, but I feel like also I read somewhere either in a history book or just off the cuff where these types of things were used in lieu of bathing as well because it was not common for people to bathe, but you also didn't want to smell like hot garbage. So you
I
would
feel
use
like
these.
I feel like it was specific for rich people though.
It could have been. That would make well because these are plants and herbs and things which you had to have money in most cases to have anyway.
Yeah,
Is what I get. Yeah.
that sounds right. I feel like you could
Yeah.
be correct.
Yeah. Somebody check that.
Yeah, somebody check that because it's
Fact
not going
check.
to be us. But yeah, that sounds right. That sounds like
Mhm.
something I read in like social studies in sixth grade
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Um, so, sorry, excuse me.
Mm.
Okay. Hippocrates, known as the father of modern medicine, maintained 2,500 years ago that the key to good health rests on having a daily aromatic bath and scented massage.
I mean, dang, sign me up.
And honestly, like, who says a face mask and a bath can't solve all your problems?
I'm
I mean,
telling you.
honestly,
Oh, that sounds amazing. Like right now.
I think so. So I think Hippocrates was on something,
Absolutely.
truly. Um, so some of the essential oils were used to produce like a trans-like state. Rose,
Mm.
myrtle, and coriander were respected for their aphrodisiac properties.
Ooh.
Myrrh and marjoram. Marjoram is like a European plant that is in the mint family, just
Oh,
FYI,
okay.
were used as sedatives.
Hmm.
And jasmine was used as a general tonic for the entire body,
That's
which makes a
nice.
lot of sense, honestly.
Yeah, jasmine tea and stuff. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Rose was employed as an antidepressant and used to strengthen the
Oh,
liver. Chamomile was given for headaches, dizziness, and colds.
also makes sense.
Sound familiar?
Indeed.
And many of the properties ascribed to herbs and aromatic oils by the ancients civilizations are regarded today. So people, I mean, this stuff didn't go away. Obviously, we still
Yeah.
have a lot of that.
Yeah.
Um, so the first people to kind of make essential oils into like diffuse them would
Mm.
be the Persians in the 10th century.
Oh wow, that's a long time ago.
I know.
That's a
That was like a really
long
long
time
time
ago.
ago. And so, and then shortly after that, there was a lot of information published about essential oils because books became a thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and then it spread into the 16th century in Germany and the 19th century France. The physicians there recognized essential oils in treating disease. So it kind of was like spreading around Europe at the time as well. Um, in the 1880s and specifically in 1887, the French physicians recorded laboratory tests on antibacterial properties of essential oils. Um, these early tests resulted from observation that there was low incidences of tuberculosis in a flower growing in the districts of southern France.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
In 1888, a similar paper was published showing the microorganisms of glandular and yellow fever were easily killed by the active properties of oregano, Chinese cinnamon, which I don't know how that's different from regular cinnamon,
Yeah, I'd be curious to know.
and angelica
Hmm.
and geranium.
I would be really interested to read some of these early studies. This is like our biology
Mm-hmm.
side and chemistry coming out, but I'd be so interested to read like these individual articles and be like, oh, did it end up being linked to those things like indefinitely, or was it just
Right.
happenstance, you know?
Or if there's been other changes. So this is what's
Right.
interesting. This is what's interesting to me. This next part is
Hmm.
so the French and German medical fields in the respective countries
Hmm.
maintained a close connection with healing properties of botanicals and did not experience a schism with botanical medicine as we have experienced in the United States. Basically, still practice a lot of these things, um, and they consider like botanical medicine, aromatherapy, things like that, a primary
Oh,
a primary part of medicine. Whereas in
interesting.
the United States,
Yeah.
like we kind of talked about in the good news, there's a lot of big pharma is really pushing a lot
Hmm.
of pills and
Hmm.
artificially, you know, manufactured drugs.
Right.
So, and I can tell you right now, they're not teaching aromatherapy or anything in medical school
No, definitely
or
not.
in nursing school. I think
Yeah.
so. It's just interesting to kind of see how different cultures have adapted this and consider it still like a pretty legitimate part of medicine.
Well, and not to take like a turn, controversial topic or anything like that, but I mean, I think it also kind of boils down to priorities of teaching and like, we obviously, a doctor's job is to keep the patient alive, but so they're
Mm-hmm.
teaching you ways to keep them alive by the quickest, most effective means possible, but they're also like, okay, well,
Correct.
when a doctor does this, how can we benefit financially from this? So it's all going to go towards big business, and it's not necessarily just about the patient having a flawless and healthy recovery and being maintained on a
Right.
healthy basis. So, like, I imagine in other cultures who maybe have like their generalized healthcare or, paid healthcare, it's kind of already taken care of. And then the main focus isn't about like how much money can I, get from this person's disease, but it's how can
Right.
we most effectively treat you long term so you're not coming back
Exactly.
constantly. Yeah. Just a difference
Well, and
in how they handle it.
a lot of this stuff too is like preventative medicine,
Right.
like treating anxiety with
Mm-hmm.
lavender instead of, an antidepressant
Right.
or some other kind of anti-anxiety medication
Mm-hmm.
is like not
No. Right.
it shouldn't, yeah, it's not done here. Like that's not
Mm-hmm.
a thing.
Right.
So, I and honestly, like, do I think that lavender should take the place of, anti-anxiety or antidepressive meds? No. But like, could it be helpful?
Right.
And, could you could
Complimentary.
yeah,
Yeah.
could you complement that? Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So I think I think that, it's all about balance, right?
Absolutely.
So I just thought that was an interesting little tidbit.
No, it is. I mean, you hear people who've been obviously it probably isn't applicable to all diseases, as most things are not. Like, not everything is a blanket statement. That would be silly. But I mean,
Right.
even people with like gastro issues who go to different countries or like change up their diet to maybe be vegan or vegetarian, whatever the case may be, like, or maybe full protein or carnivore diets. Like, it's whatever works with your body. And I think trial and error with those things might be helpful so you can figure out what your body responds to naturally, and then, like we talked about, complement with maybe other things that maybe push you
Yeah.
to the other side of health, in a good way.
It's like if my patient is having pain, I'm
Mm,
going to put ice on their leg or
right.
whatever, and then also I'm going to give them some painkillers. You
Correct.
want to make sure that you're using
Yes,
everything available to you.
exactly. Yep.
Another fun, this is more of a fun fact. Lavender, as well as other essential oils, were used in the 1900s to help treat war wounds during like
Oh.
World War II and stuff.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Additionally, Marguerite Maury, a French biochemist and nurse,
Mm-hmm.
lectured and gave seminars in the early 1930s throughout Europe, and she taught about the rejuvenating properties of essential oils and the resulting overall sense of well-being that they provided.
That's nice.
So she was really going around making sure that everyone was aware that this could be used as well as, you know, the drugs that were coming out during
Absolutely.
that time.
Nice.
So um, let's see. The last thing I'll say is the term aromatherapy was coined by French perfumer and chemist René Maurice uh, Get, Get,
Nice. Good bossy.
Gefossi. In a book he wrote on the topic, which was published in 1937. He previously discovered the healing power of lavender in treating burns, and the book discusses the use of essential oils in treating medical conditions.
That's nice. I mean, like we talked about earlier, essential oils are still plant derived, like many of our medications. And I say plant derived, some of the medications are obviously now synthetically made because we figured out how to mimic what the plant would provide, or like what the chemical structure would be that would complement that. And that's
Right.
good because that means we can mass produce and have as many on hand as we might need for certain diseases. But it's all about how it's entering the body and like what areas it's being used for. So example, lavender for a burn, you're not ingesting that. That's going on your skin, the biggest organ on your body, but it's physically going on you. But of course, if you take a pill, it's now internal. If you inhale something, it's in your sinuses. So it's just figuring out the best way for that particular uh, essential oil, medicate, whatever you want to name it as, therapy to work in your system, and the best way to get it there to do its job.
Yeah,
Yeah, which is half the battle anyway.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Love it.
Yeah. So that's like our little history lesson on aromatherapy and how we can use that in everyday life.
How we're not gonna have one.
How we're not using it in the United States healthcare system. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, also, I wonder, I think the next bit of research I want to do is like safe things to have in your house with also animals that can kind of do the same thing. Like, what's
Yeah.
something that's not gonna, outside of, I'm gonna be honest, I'm probably not gonna do the pot of like sage
No,
and stuff.
me neither. Me
But
neither.
I mean, like, what are ways that you can use these types of therapies when you do have animals that may be susceptible
Yeah.
to it? And also, you don't want to disrupt like your senses in your home because that's also not good for you.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna do some individual research on this one and see what I could use instead.
Yeah. And it would be interesting also like to see what if it because like plants that you can have in your house when you have pets, there's like different
Oh yeah,
ones, and it would
dough
be interesting
lilies.
if it like I know, and if it crosses
Yeah,
over to like the different smells and then also the different plants. You would assume
that's
they wouldn't be
true.
able to ingest the plants, but
That's very, very true. I mean, I know lilies are a no-no.
oh yeah, I also with cats, absolutely
Yeah,
not. I'm
yeah,
not doing
yeah,
it.
pretty toxic. Um, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So that's all I got for
Nice.
this wonderful episode of mediocre content.
It's fantastic. If you,
Yeah.
listener, have something you want to add, questions you have, or going back to the birthday, I'd still like to know if you have a September birthday or one of the odd
Yes.
ones. So
We want to know.
send it in. You can either get it to us via email at mediocrecontentpodcast@gmail.com, send us a tweet at mediocresquawks, or on our new Instagram at mediocrepodcast. Send us over any DMs, comments on our posts, or emails. We'd love to hear from you.
Yes, we would. Definitely.
And otherwise, we'll see you next week.
Cheers.
Cheers.